everybody, and happy April to you. I'm so excited to see the sun and the flowers blooming, the trees just sprouting. So, for all my friends in the Northern Hemisphere, yay, we are finally here in the rebirth cycle. And for all my friends in the Southern Hemispheres, I know this is the time where things begin to turn inward, and that's also one of my favorite times of the year, actually, when spring and fall happen, because it's the rebirth and the blooming of all the seeds you planted, and it's then the letting go of the things that no longer serve you. And I can't think of two better times of the year as we move through this new time frame. So we have a lot of stuff going on. Man, has March been a very big month. So many changes that have been happening for me personally, and I know around the world as well, and I'm sure that each of you have been feeling it, and I'm going to talk about that, but also I'm going to talk about what is coming, which I am even more excited about, all the things that are coming. So March, of course, was a crazy, chaotic astrological month. This is one of the biggest months that really everybody's been talking about. And it may not be one of those things where you see all this external stuff, even though there's been so many external things happening. And I think it's interesting that the very last of the month, there's been so much seismic activity happening across the globe. That's been interesting. But obviously, we were coming out of a major eclipse season. It's not that we're free and clear of the eclipse. That eclipse energy is going to continue to carry us through the rest of this year. It will hit our second eclipse season coming up later this year. So we're going to have reverberations from that. And this was a major cycle close because we started having eclipses in the Aries Libra axis beginning in April of 2023. This has been a full almost 2 years of major changes where we have been letting go of a lot of relationships, a lot of things that aren't serving us. We've been realigning to our personal values and our truth, with Aries being in that North Node placement for so long. And so the solar eclipse that we just had on the 29th of March was the closing. It was the final chapter of that cycle that started in April of 2023. For me, that has been a doozy of a transformation. There has been so many initiations, so many shifts, so many changes, so many people out of my life. It's just been a 180-degree difference of what happened beginning April 2023 to where I am at today. And some of you may be feeling that as well. Then we have had another major event happen that just happened here. And it is the first of the 4 planets that are changing signs, the outer planets that are changing signs this year. So when outer planets change signs, we collectively are going to feel this more deeply because it is a collective shift for all of us. And that first one is Neptune, that's been in Pisces for the past 14 years, is moved into Aries, which is all new energy. It's starter energy. So Neptune loves being in Pisces because it's Pisces ruler. But the thing with Neptune and Pisces is that it amplifies illusions. It amplifies spiritual romanticism. It amplifies gurus and saviors and hierarchical spirituality. All those things are very much in place when Neptune is in Pisces. So it amplifies those types of themes. And we have seen such a rise in the past 14 years of spirituality and people looking for gurus for answers, and they're looking outside of themselves. And there's all this kind of weird stuff that happened over the last 14 years. In one way, it's good because it's moved us into this era of talking about consciousness and talking about past lives and talking about higher selves and all the things that help us connect deeper into ourselves. So that's all been positive. But we've also had a lot of this disillusion happening within this, and we've had a lot of what I would call some very interesting and not so authentic spiritual romanticism happening in the past 14 years. And this has given a rise to a lot of people saying they're spiritual gurus and they're spiritual experts and all this stuff. And all of those kind of illusions are starting to get pulled away, which I am grateful for, because there's so many people that I know that are authentically here to serve, and they do not get any recognition, they don't get any play, they don't get any exposure at all, because of the fact that they are in integrity and they are genuine people who are here to help. And I'm not saying everybody who's popular is that way, because that's not the case. There are those as well. But I think that our vision of what that looks like has been very much skewed in a different direction. So it's been interesting that we have had and experienced these things, and there has been a dissolving of these systems even in my own life, where I have seen spiritual roles shifting, truths being revealed, again, people who I thought were part of my soul tribe completely breaking apart and leaving. So there's been a lot of disillusion. There's been a lot of people being very unanchored, and it's not been out of failure. All of this has been teaching us a lot of things. But where we're at now is that we have broke through that, and it's really about freedom at this point, especially with us moving Neptune into Aries right now. It is really about the freedom piece. So Neptune in Aries is really interesting because it's more about the mystical fire. It's action with intuition, and it's creation without knowing a pattern, because Aries doesn't ask for a plan. It goes and it just hits the deck running. It doesn't really have a master plan in place, but it does ask for truth. It asks for freedom, and it asks for movement. And I think that's very much what we're feeling right now. So if you feel like you're being asked to step forward without knowing the next step, it's okay. You're not lost. You're just early. And you're part of the early adopters and the ones that are here to embody this. We are being asked to build with our bodies, with our tones, with our choices, and with our presence. And it is a big shift that's happening right now, and we are being asked to step into that in a very, very big way. So let me talk about the big themes that came through intuitively for April and what I have been feeling. This eclipse season has been us going through the birth canal, literally going through the birth canal. We were in the void of the birth canal, the darkness of the birth canal, and it pushing us through this birth canal and pushing us out into something completely unknown. And through that, one of the big themes that came through was rebirth, and it's rebirth through the fire of truth. So as we are in Aries season and we're in this fire energy, April really is opening us up to the flames of transformation. And it's still burning because we're not out of the eclipse portal at all. We're still there. But we are merging, re-emerging, reborn. And it's not about who we were, because who we were is no longer part of this new plan. But it's who we remembered ourselves to be. Those old timelines that we've all been operating in are no longer going to hold as we move forward. And so this month is about walking through the threshold of your own truth and your own sovereignty. This is big. The second big theme has been around realignment, and it's focusing on realignment with the divine blueprint. We all are being called back into resonance right now. Resonance with ourselves and resonance with our cosmic fate. We are letting go, and we have let go of all of these old desires that we had. And what's emerging right now are the new instructions. But we don't know fully what those instructions look like. So this is the month that we have to stop and we have to listen. Your soul knows why it came here at this time, and it knows exactly what to do. And so what this month is about getting the clarity that you need to course correct in truth and not fear. So we're realigning to our higher blueprint. The third theme was around blueprint activation. This is awakening the sacred design of your purpose. What this means is that your divine architecture is coming online, and it has been dormant for a long time, but it's starting to get reawakened. This is not about a personality upgrade. This is about a soul re-encoding upgrade. And you hold a very unique energetic blueprint that is awakening from within right now. And it is needed as we step in to this new unknown territory that we are all creating together from scratch. The final theme for April was around new Earth Activators. You are the frequency we've been waiting for. This month, those of you who are seated to carry the new codes begin to step forward into your roles. And this is not from ego, but this is through embodiment. Remember, you're not here to follow a path. You are becoming the path. And this is where the grid keepers, the energy weavers, the light architects, this is your summoning, because we are forming the harmonic web right now. And you are an anchor point for that. So let me go back to the blueprint and why I have named this episode all around You Are the Blueprint, awakening to what has not been named. So what does it mean to be a living template, a living blueprint template? This has nothing to do with ego. It has nothing to do with superiority. This is all about frequency, and it's all about design. And your soul came encoded with a template for how New Earth might be lived. There are some of us that are now being asked to step up into leadership roles as we turn this page and we step into this new chapter, because we are not here to follow. And we never have. You may have had authority issues your whole life where you're like, I'm not following that path and I'm not getting on board with that. That is one sign to say, I'm not here to follow, I'm here to actually lead. What we're here to lead is we're here to transmit, we're here to anchor, and we're here to architect what this new vision for our future is going to look like. I've talked about this whole thing with Pluto and Aquarius for the next 20 years, and that the systems are crumbling. And you're seeing this happening in the external world. You're seeing all the systems crumbling and being torn down. That is for a reason. Because we're not just building new businesses or systems, but we're building new energetics. And what this looks like is that this is a spiritual economy not based on lack, not based on hierarchy at all. It is a spiritual economy that is based on love and community and respect and alignment. It's building community that's rooted in sovereignty and not control. It is abundance through embodiment. And it is spiritual leadership through authenticity and not performance. Remember, we're leaving Neptune behind. It's moved out of Pisces. It's moved out of the disillusion. We're stepping into a time where it's demanded that you're in integrity and that you're in authenticity and that you are embodying your blueprint, your frequency, and your truth. So, how do you know if you might be living in your blueprint, an awakening to what has not been named? Some clues that you may have in this is that you never quite fit into existing models, even the spiritual ones. Even when you thought you were fitting in, you never quite fit in, even to those spiritual communities that you may have joined for a while. You may get visions or inner knowings of things that don't exist yet. You may have had these visions of things happening and you may have shared them with other people and they may have thought you were completely crazy. But you just know in your soul that this is what's going to unfold and this is what's going to happen. In the last couple of years, especially as I talked about from April 2023, when these eclipses were happening in the Aries Libra axis, you may have gone through a major period of dismantling in the last year or two. And that could be dismantling yourself. That could be dismantling what you believe to be true. That could be dismantling relationships, your roles, even your ego, your identity that felt very essential to you. One thing that we've been asked to do as we move through this eclipse season is to dismantle and let go of our identity. Literally unzipping the meat suit that you've been wearing, the identity that you've been wearing, the mask you've been wearing for all these years, and this embodiment, and letting that go and releasing it. The other thing you may have felt is that you're carrying something very ancient and future all at one time. And that's kind of hard to explain. But the best way I can describe it is like having a deep connection to cosmic energies, or maybe you have a feeling that you're from a certain star system, whether you're Arcturian or you're from Orion or you're Andromedan or Pleiades, whatever it is, you have that, but you also have this deep connection to maybe ancient Egypt or Greece or the Celtic cultures or the Druids or any of those things. That is a sign that you may be carrying very ancient blueprints yourself. So if you've been feeling any of those things, I just want to tell you, you're not alone. You are not alone. And many of us are waking up to this inner role. And the important thing to understand is that you're not meant to explain yourself into understanding. This path is a path that is felt. It's not a path to figure out. And it will be outlined to you through your higher self in beautiful timing, and you will just walk the path. You're not going to have to guess how to walk that path. You will be able to walk that path very seamlessly. And I also want to say that your essence, your frequency, your vibration is enough. Your beingness is the map. We're moving out of the constructs of and the conditioning of you have to do and you have to prove yourself and you have to work hard and all those things. That is not where we're at anymore. We are literally in the being. We are beings and we are meant to be. And that is where we're at now. And just know that you're not alone, because there is a global constellation of living blueprints coming online right now. There's all of you that are specifically and perfectly placed across the globe, and each of you are coming online right now in beautiful harmony. And remember, we're not rebuilding the old. This is not about rebuilding something that has already been. This is not about embodying something that has already been. It's not about saying, oh, well, you know, I think I'm embodying such and such figure. No, 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 no. That's not where it's at. You may have an essence of that. Your oversoul may contain that energy, but you're not reliving that blueprint. You're building a brand new blueprint that's never been seen. And the world that we are building together is something that we've never seen, ever. So please trust your frequency. Trust it. Rest if you need resting. Speak when you're called to speak. But please trust that you are on the absolute right path right now. And that you know that deep in your soul, you know that you are on the right path and that you are here for a reason, and you know that this is the time. This is the time that we have been waiting for. Many of us have been waiting for so long to be right here, and this is where we're at. And it's exciting. And it's scary. It's overwhelming a little bit. But once you settle into it, it starts to become so joy-filled. So joy-filled. And almost as though it's like giddy excitement is the best way I can describe it, of what it feels like now that we are finally coming into this new era, this new way of living, this new remembrance of who you are and why you're here. Remember to say to yourself, I am the living blueprint. I walk in remembrance. I create through being. If you are looking for support through this shift, through this change, and if you feel as though you are one of the key holders, the blueprint holders for this next phase, I want to connect with you in a deeper way. First of all, I think I talked about this in the last episode, but if you didn't catch that, I want to tell you that I have a new place to gather. This is really important at this time, that we are coming together and that we are gathering. And this is over on Patreon, and it's called Light Alchemy Collective. I will put this in the show notes and I'll link over. My friend Heather, Jade Fisher Page, and I have come together. We have been divinely guided to merge together because we are just like you. If this is resonating with you, we are one of the blueprint holders. We are one of the key holders for this new evolution. And we are being called to bring people together at this time in order to do that. April is all focused on the realignment, the recalibration, the rebirth. So everything there is aligned to that. But there are 3 events that we're holding this month, and I would love for you to join us. The first one's going to take place on April 16th. This is the Harmonic Grid Circle. This is our April gathering. And this is a brand new piece. This is for those of you who feel as though you are the key holders for the new earth. This is for those of you who feel as though you are the gridders, you are the portal keepers, you are the architects of the new earth. I would love to get all of you together once a month at least, in order to come together to help start to activate the different areas of the new earth architecture and start to weave our energies together. We are all needed. We are all important. We all need to come together, because as we collaborate, co-collaborate, and come into harmony with each other, it's like a beautiful orchestra. Each one plays such an important and specific role, and we need each other to come together at this time to do that. So that particular gathering is going to take place on Wednesday, April 16th. It's at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, but this will be recorded, so it does not matter if you cannot make the live event. What's important is that your energy is coming into the fold. And of course, there's no time and space, and energy is fluid and it connects anywhere. But for those of you who are really called to this, I would love to have you join us for our kickoff. And this is something that's very near and dear to my heart and Heather's heart. And we want to make sure that we are pulling in and calling in anybody who aligns with us and who feels as though they are here to help activate these grids and these templates and the architecture for this new earth that we are creating together. The second event's going to be on April 23rd. This is the Temple of the Flame. This is our April gathering for our tier members that are on the Flame tier. And this is a great time to come together, talk about our experiences, what is happening. And if you're looking for some intuitive guidance, Heather's an amazing channeler, by the way. And if there's intuitive guidance that you need, this is a great place to be able to come together and get that guidance, but mostly just for us to connect and talk about our experiences. And then the other thing that we are launching, which I'm so excited about, is going to be a master class series that we're going to do once a month. And this first class is going to be about navigating the unseen worlds. So one thing that Heather and I do a lot of is we work so much in the unseen worlds with so many different types of beings, and we want to help you connect deeper with your teams, your guides, everything. So the first class is going to be around working with guides. So this doesn't have to be just your personal guides, but it's working with all different types of guides. And that's going to take place on Sunday, April 27th at 3 p.m. Eastern and 12 p.m. Pacific. Again, I will put all of this in the show notes. We're so excited about these 3 events that are coming up in the month of April, and would love for you to join us for sure. So I would love to connect with you in any way that feels great and aligned for you. And I am wishing all of you a beautiful April as you are continuing to integrate all of these energetic shifts that we've had, rebirthing and realigning that will take place this month. And please take great care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.